Everyone, welcome to the July 13th zoning board hearing. We have 3 hearings tonight. Please note there's 4 members on this board tonight, not 5. Therefore, it may, if someone votes in a negative, of course, you need all 4 in order to move forward. Please note that if the council's available, the applicant's available, they can certainly request to continue to the next hearing until we have a full number of 5. So with that, do you have 2 names there? You don't need that one, John's not going to be here. So with that, we'll open up the hearing. Before I open up the first hearing, which will be, this will be on the hearing 170 East Main Street. If someone is here in this party, can you please come to the front? Otherwise, I will be reading the minutes and asking for a vote. Board members, you've had the opportunity to review the minutes of the June 8th meeting. So with that, is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Mark to approve. Second?
Second.
Second by Bob. All those in favor? Opposed? Let me see, make sure that everybody was here. Okay. I'll pass that down. Melissa, please. Okay. That being after 7:05, this is on the application of Estevao Costa, 11 Airport Road, Hopedale, for a special permit pursuant to the sections 2.3 of the zoning bylaw in relation to a parcel of land. It's located in land containing about 38,980 square feet, more or less, located on the northerly side of East Main Street, and is known as number 170 East Main Street. The property is owned by Rudolph Perotti. The special permit relief is sought to allow the parcel to be utilized as a motorized construction equipment sales, rental, and service. In the application, what I will do is have the application here fully. Let me see what it says. So the applicant indicates the zoning bylaw, what are you seeking the special permit for, and the purpose. The applicant is stating apparently the regulation in motor vehicle boat sales rental requires a special permit with the Zoning Board of Appeals in accordance with section 2.3 of the zoning bylaws. Concerning explain the reasons that the permit is sought with harmony in the general purpose of the zoning bylaw. The applicant states that the proposed use is in harmony with the abutting parcels, which includes a new car dealership and a rental car business. The proposal will promote a better site aesthetics and also while serving the community's needs. Concerning the question, does the proposed use of the premise create undue traffic congestion or impair pedestrian safety? The applicant states that the preliminary discussions with town staff indicated that the existing site curb cuts are located in problematic locations and cause issues to traffic patterns associated with the nearby intersection. Site improvements include closing one of these curb cuts and installing a new curb cut and sidewalks for better traffic and pedestrian access. Concerning the question whether the proposed use will cause harm to the neighborhood or create nuisance or hazard affecting the health, safety, and general welfare of the public, the applicant states that no proposed outdoor maintenance of vehicles is proposed with the application, which may cause or release a potential of pollutants to the environment. The site will operate during normal business hours, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 8 to 1, to deter any nuisance to the neighbors from occurring in off hours. With that, I have a letter here from CMG Environmental Services, and before I get to that, I will read the letter concerning that came into the town planner. This went to the town planner. The planning board did vote favorable recommendations subject to the following conditions. And I believe this was a vote with 2 or 3 in favor and 1 abstention, one opposed. The equipment rental use, including parking and display areas, shall be limited to the southerly front of the 200 foot of the property outside the Water Resource Protection District. So board members, please be aware, the site's in the Water Protection District. Also, all off-street parking and areas outside equipment displays shall be paved and be located outside the Water Resource Protection District. The proposed dumpster location shall be located to be outside the Water Resource District, and the site plan review is required by the planning board is subsequent to, in the event the ZBA decides to approve it. So with that, town planner letter, this came across along with the chairman of the planning board. The applicant requests a special permit to allow for the establishment of construction equipment sales and rental business to replace the former auto repair garage on the property. Such uses are permitted in the CB district via only a special permit. It must be noted that the northerly 100 feet of the property lies within the Water Resource Protection District, which prohibits the proposed use. Coincidentally, the Water Resource District boundary is essentially terminus with the 100-foot wetland of the buffer that is indicated also in the proposed concept plan. Therefore, only the southerly 200 feet of the property, which lies outside the Water Resource District, may be used for the proposed use. Provided a special permit is granted by the ZBA, the use and disposition of the northerly area of the property that is within the Water Resource District will be determined by the Conservation Commission and the Planning Board during respective reviews of the proposal. The applicant is proposing to close the 2 existing driveways and install 1 new driveway at the westerly side of the property on East Main Street. This will improve access and the traffic flow on both on and off site. A traffic report will be required as part of the planning board site plan review. New landscaping areas are also proposed along the East Main Street frontage. Therefore, they did recommend a failure report be forwarded off to this board. The equipment rental use, including parking and display vehicles, shall be limited to the southerly 200-foot. All off-street parking and areas shall complement display will be paved and also located outside the Water Resource District. The dumpster location shall be relocated in the event this is approved, and the site plan review is required by the planning board subject to the approvals. So with that, I'd like to, you have counsel here tonight?
No. My name is Mr. Chairman. I'm David Feist with CFG. I'm the project civil engineer. We represent Steve Costa, the applicant of ETS equipment. We do not have counsel with this evening.
Okay. Can you kind of give me an overview of what you did here? Was this basically in tune of the application that I just read through?
Correct. Okay. And we've met with Larry Duncan several times. Worked with him to develop a concept plan with our client, given some of the site constraints related to the water resource protection zoning, and the traffic curb cuts on the front of the property.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and go through, have you got a bigger site plan?
Actually, we just did an 11 by 17 concept plan. I have extra copies.
Can you post one up there with the yellow little pins there so the public can see what you're doing? You copy these too? You make copies of these?
I did.
And everybody's? Okay, so can you outline, just draw out the outline of the property itself?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, the property sits in this area here. The existing car dealership is to the left of the property. To the west of the site, there's some existing residential homes here. The intersection of Route 109 and 16 is right here in close proximity to the site. Currently, there is, I believe, 3 curb cuts along the front of the property. With some of the former service bays were accessed from East Main Street. Part of our proposal is to close those curb cuts, add additional landscaping in the front, and only keep 1 curb cut is the furthest away from the intersection as can be possible with the site constraints. We're providing 16 parking spaces, 1 handicap, which meet the required zoning requirement for the proposed use, along with the storage area in the back. As part of our site plan review process, we will delineate the water resource protection zone and the conditions that were recommended by the planning board, I believe, are acceptable to my client. So once we get to the site plan review process, we'll go into more detail with those. The equipment storage area would be in the rear of the property, which has currently been paved and impervious in the past. And the existing building will remain as is. It's an existing non-conforming related to the zoning setbacks. However, there's really no proposed changes other than the improvement of the aesthetics of the building. And I'd be happy to answer any questions, and Steve Costa is here to answer any operational questions.
How much of that area is disturbed as far as once you get into the?
Well, this is the
50-foot?
line right here.
So that's the.
When they go over the garage on Prairie Street, they can't go any further than that at all. At all. Because all of this they cannot use.
Okay, no more, any more than
You
they.
can't use any of it.
Okay.
It's in the Water Resource District.
Now, you have a gravelled area that's currently there,
Right.
and you're saying,
Well, there's some type of residential use on that property that's not allowed either. So I guess my question's going to be, you have the resource district, if you take a look and put your pen to the property, the residential property, right around where his driveway is off Prairie Street. Can you point to the driveway, this, right there? So when you run your finger right along your property line there, roughly, at the driveway,
Yep,
go right across your site.
this way?
Yep.
Yep.
That's about, that back section you can't use. That can't be used,
Correct.
because that's the Water Resource District. As a matter of fact, I think maybe some of the wetlands, there's wetlands in there that could have been filled back. And there's also, I think there's a sewer easement back there, too. So in any event, and I don't know if we have residents here on Prairie Street, my biggest concern with this use on this property is heavy equipment in a residential section with these neighbors all around with the backup beeping on these machines. That's my biggest concern. I drove to Hopedale, and that looks like a nightmare. That is an absolute nightmare down there in Hopedale. That's my opinion. I brought some pictures. If people want to look at these, they can. But there's machines in the front yard, in front of the building, in front of the entrances, in the parking lot. There's lulls all over the place. That's not going to happen at this property. I won't allow it.
And Mr.
it is-
Chairman, if I could add, one of the other, this particular location, I know Steve can probably expand a little more, is more of a satellite location for their business to give them a little more visibility. They have another location over on 146 where they have equipment display and storage, and we're currently also permitting a large maintenance facility over in Medway on Alder Street. So again, I don't know, Steve, if you wanted to maybe add to that.
What we're looking for the location on 170 is mostly designed, mostly targeted to smaller equipment. Yes, they do have the beeping and the traveling, which is something that can be easily addressed if needed to be. But none of the larger, the lulls or excavators would be going to that site. All so targeting smaller towards homeowners, which is.
So you're basically trying to do a $495 rental on this location, is what you're trying to do,
Pretty much.
which that zone, I think, is on the industrial side. This is really an industrial application. I just don't see it in this zone, but I'll leave that to my comments at this point. Anybody else, board members?
Would there be a point that, I mean, you're saying that you're not going to be heavy equipment in there, but my concern is if you decide to, for some odd reason, that the radius for a tractor trailer for a low bed to come in and turn around, I don't see that happening here.
Exactly, and that's what we're taking into consideration, where it's a second location. We're not trying to move from where we are. As Chairman mentioned, right now in Oakdale, we have a display area in front of the building. We have machines on the side of the building. We have about a 1 acre yard full of all sizes of lift and earth moving equipment. Our goal with this location is simply for smaller, under 8,000-9,000 pounds units, which skid steers, compactors, mini excavators, none of the larger stuff that require semi-trailer. These are all transported by either a small equipment trailer or flatbeds, tow trucks. We don't need the space for the tractors.
You're going to do all this on 8,300 square feet?
Excuse me?
You have 8,300 square feet that you can use?
No, they're already in the wetland area here. This gray area, Mark?
Yeah.
That's 8,300 square feet. So
The
that's,
wetlands.
yeah, so now that's out.
What do we have for square
A
footage?
quarter of this is out of
So
that
you knocked them
gray
out
area.
5,800 square feet. You're going to
No,
do all
I-
this in 5,800 square feet?
It's plenty for what's needed.
Again,
5,800 square feet is not a lot, not for heavy equipment.
I just don't think this site is conducive to
It's really, I can't imagine
construction,
you're not going to have an
heavy
overflow
equipment
issue.
with the noise, with the backup beeping, and this is not the site for that.
I think it's going
This
to
is
be,
an industrial application.
I think it's going to be an overflow issue anyway. I
That's
can't
my opinion.
imagine, you know, as things come in and go out, but I've been down Taylor Rental 100 times, so has anybody. You see the way sometimes that gets a little chaotic down there. And I can't imagine that not happening here, and especially in this location.
The traffic is going
It's a killer.
to be horrendous.
That whole area is a killer. And I'm kind of surprised there's nobody here from town, the residents complaining about this.
Well, the planning board had some members that were on vacation as
The
well.
public's,
Yeah, it's
I know a
obviously,
couple of
we
them
have
are not
some people here.
Go ahead.
We have a couple people here.
Go ahead, yes. Who would like to speak, come on up. Or raise your hand. Can I have that microphone way over here?
Which one over here?
One of those, yeah. Melissa, can we get that to them,
We would like to.
please?
Right here.
If you're going to, yeah, speak through the chairman, please, and
I stand here.
everything gets addressed through the chairman. Please announce your name, where you live, that would help, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Consigli, my name is Carol Hiller. I live at 6 Prairie Street, where I have resided for 20 years, where I built a house on my family's property, who have been here for over 100 years. And at the time I built my house, 90% of the land abutting me, behind me, was residential. In 2018, Mr. Parati went to you, the zoning board, to ask for commercial zoning. I attended and I did not object because he was already using the property for his wood chopping business where he was selling firewood. And I felt, okay, I'll be a good neighbor. The back of my property has 9 windows. My master bedroom, my bathroom, my den, all sit toward that area. My concerns, yes, I have, by the way, as you know, I certainly have special interest in this. It is my property value. And as you can see, I'm not a young woman anymore.
Sure you are.
I have several concerns. Number one, I went out to his airport site, and it was a disaster. I have photos, but they're on my phone. And I thought, I have to look out my window. Actually, I've been having nightmares seeing orange already out those back windows. It's not a good sight. I assume his business is mainly rentals, because I can't see a lot of people that would buy this kind of heavy-duty equipment or even have it serviced there. But we can ask him that question. I'm concerned about the traffic impact. Having been in this town for 20 years now, having been a town meeting member, having gotten the state to put a quick green light so we can get out of Prairie Street, because that becomes a disaster. There are 27 homes that live in there. If that cemetery is not open, and they do not have to leave their gate open, we are at the mercy of that intersection. The do not block sign means nothing to them, Mr. Chairman, to the to the automobile traffic. They will block that intersection.
I've seen it.
because they're frustrated, and I can understand. The
St.
yield
Mary's does
sign,
lock. St.
the yield
St.
sign.
Mary's does shut that fence down.
St. Mary's-
They do lock the gate.
Yes, absolutely. They did open it for
They just recently reopened it.
yeah, thank God. Anyway, we are concerned about the traffic impact. I've seen their bed trucks, and they're long and big, and I've seen their, I guess they're called boom cranes, those cherry pickers. If those are going to sit in my backyard in a row, that's going to be quite a sight and not very pleasant. We endured Amazon down there. We had to have a liaison with them.
Right.
We need some relief. You know, we're also citizens of this town, and there's never going to be a bypass. We know that in this town. So I just want you to consider the traffic. I worry about lighting. I told you how I have 9 windows. I already have lighting from the Hyundai dealership, but they do close it down at 11. And I have room darkening shades for my bedroom. I'm worried about the noise. Everybody says this is what we're going to do. I've been to the zoning board many times. And you'll hear, okay, we're going to comply with 8 to 5:30.
They
And
don't.
you know, once you give them what they want, there's no compliance there. And who's going to be the one? Are we going to get another liaison? Because I certainly don't want to be the neighborhood complainer. Because they may be going out at 7 o'clock in the morning with their, 6 o'clock in the morning with their rentals, and that's my sleep time. Then the buffer to the residential, I guess there's nothing except for that drainage canal, which is really going to see, if they're hard topping, that's really going to see some heavy flow. And I already have 2 sump pumps in my basement and an interior peripheral drain, because that's a low, my yard is a low area. So I do worry about the groundwater. I worry about drainage. I worry about snow removal. If they're going to push it to the back, that's where the wetlands are. And if there's diesel oil or whatever, that's going to contaminate our wetlands. Again, my major concern too is once they get, I'm sorry, but I've seen this happen too much in this town. Once they get what they want, they do what they want. And I don't know who's going to make sure that they comply. The police department have enough to do. I did show Mr. Consigli, I showed you where they went on 6/2018 where Mr. Parati did get his land changed to commercial.
Yep.
And that also that the wetland, where it was actually when I built my house, it's been moved back with some fill.
And filled in, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's my concerns as a resident and as a person that really cares about this town and this neighborhood and how my fellow neighbors can get in and out of their streets. 26 homes.
Thank
minimum
you.
2 cars per
Thank
home.
you. That's my concern is this residential surrounds us and this type of equipment, and no offense to the applicant or to the neighbors either. There's a relative aspect of enjoyment of your homes, and there's also a relevant aspect of being, you know, good to having good business in the community. This type of application, in my opinion, is a special permit in the zone. However, heavy equipment belongs in the industrial zone, where that's where all the heavy stuff goes. So that is my opinion. That's my comment. If anybody else cares to be heard, please step up. Please announce your name, please.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Anna Capabianco, and I live at 9 Prairie Street. So this property is seen from my dining room and my living room facing my house. I do get lovely sunsets, but just like my neighbor Carol, I do concerned about seeing orange and yellow. A little background about me, I come from construction. My father's a contractor, my brother's a superintendent at a very high construction firm. I've worked on machines most of my life with my family. Things do not go to plan, especially maybe just working with the men in my family, but I know things can get over time, either early in the morning or late at night, and that's my concern, hearing that noise at different hours, especially after coming home from work or me getting ready to work. The other concerns I have is the traffic, of course. This afternoon I ran a couple errands and I sat through 2 traffic lights just to try to exit Prairie Street because it was blocked. So if there's one of their trucks and trailers trying to return a machine or go out, I don't know. That would be kind of frustrating to continually be stuck at my intersection. The other concern I have regarding the trucks and trailers, even though it would be smaller grade equipment coming in and out of the facility, is point of egress coming out of the facility. Will they only be taking a right to go down 16 into the center of town? Because I do not see how they can make a corner with the trailer block 3 lanes of traffic to get down the Cat side or down 109 at that intersection. We hear it all day, all night, the accidents at that intersection. People blow the yield or they get confused and switch lanes. I would hate to see one of their trucks and trailers and one of their employees get hurt in that situation. Lastly, in my little piggyback note on that is in terms of who's transporting these vehicles. Is it going to be retail hauling this machine and trailer back into this area? Is it their trucks and trailers, employees and on their equipment moving that machinery? I would hate to see a homeowner get lost and confused and bunny hop the curb with the machine on the back and cause another accident. Again, no offense to the applicant, I totally get it. I come from the industry, I understand, but I just don't see how this could work in this residential area where my future husband and I have made our home, and I just don't see where it could fit into this section. We're getting squeezed out as it is from other properties.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else care to be heard?
If I may, Dave, I guess the only concern I have is it seems like he's asking for a special permit. And I guess the concern is denying a special permit when there's been a history of a similar type business, if in fact it's not industrial and it's actually a commercial use. And whether we like it or don't like it, is there a legal issue? And you might have, you obviously have more experience in something like that.
Yeah, each parcel, whether it's this or whether it's a residential parcel, is taken on its own merit. And again, you know, this could be, they could come in and try and put a hotel here if it had enough, enough acreage and square footage. When you dive into the Water Resource District, and again, a special permit is exactly that, a special permit. I look at a special permit as something that falls into the harmony of the neighborhood and not something that is intrusive and noisy. Heavy equipment, I believe, is intrusive and noisy, especially when it's surrounded by residential. Not only that, this particular site was actually, he requested to get this thing to rezone commercial. There's certain allowed uses as a matter of right under the commercial designation, and then there's certain uses that are allowed by special permit. The special permit is authorized by this board. If board members choose they want to go down this road and make a recommendation to have this heavy equipment on this site, they can. That's not a problem. That's the right of the zoning board. That's the right of the zoning board members. You can make motions to approve. You make motions to deny. It needs the votes in order to go through. So saying that, we have 4 people tonight, so they would need a favor of all 4 votes, along with any conditions, excuse me, that any member may want to put on the site. So with that,
I do want to add something to that, David. Right here on the plan from CMG, Milford zoning bylaws, 2.3 use regulations, motor vehicle, boat sales, rental, new with a special permit, the zoning board of appeals, motor vehicle, boat sales, rental use, permitted use may require site plan review. The proposed use is a motorized construction equipment rental. I don't see anywhere, and I haven't read it word by word in the bylaws, that say anything about motorized construction in the commercial district. I could be wrong, something I just wanted to point out.
anybody else?
Are you going to be doing, if this went through, are you going to be doing all the repair work for that site also?
No.
So if somebody brings back rental equipment that's broken, you're not going to fix it?
Our service is in Hopkins. All of our services are in Hopkins.
So this is just going to be a display, pick up and return?
Correct.
Yeah, it doesn't always happen that way.
That's, I can't imagine some of the homeowners with their trailers, and I've seen them because I'm in the construction business. And they can't drive for crap. I can't imagine, it's gonna be a nightmare down there. And personally, I don't think it's in the right location. That's my personal opinion.
Okay. Anybody else get it? So you have your last word. We'll take it under advisement.
I mean, at my point of view, improvement for what it is there now, and what we're planning to do with it. I understand the residents, that's why we're trying to stay within the timeframe for the 8 to 5, the proposal operating hours. As far as the noise on the backyard, it's not like it happens throughout the day. The machines are moving back and forth every time. The driving on intersection, there's plenty of them. Route 16, Route 109, there's tractor trailers going by it all day sometimes.
They're not coming out of Prairie Street.
Well, they're not.
No, trailer trucks aren't coming out of Prairie Street, and it's just a, I don't know, it's... it's, I mean, Taylor Rental's a zoo down there. And I can't imagine you guys are gonna be less, I'm not saying it's gonna be a zoo, but less busy. And residents coming in and out with their little trailers in their back. And it's gonna happen, you know that. You're in the business, so you've seen it already. So, I just think you belong in an industrial zone. That's my personal opinion. You're in an industrial zone now, I hope that. And why are you trying to put this in a non-industrial zone?
Being on the smaller units, I didn't see the need to be, and we needed the display area being on Main Street, which is a great location for that.
25 years ago, you could have pulled it off. But I hate to see any type of precedents being set on something like this.
Well, if everything is taken under its merits, so.
Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't matter what the previous decision on another site was, similar or otherwise, it's all taken on its merits. So with that, what's the pleasure of the board? Is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion to deny.
There's a motion to deny the application. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bob. All those in favor on the second to deny the application? 1, 2.
I would prefer to continue it.
Right now, we're on the motion, so right now, I'll vote 3. So there's 3 in favor. Do you want to abstain? Do you want to say no? Do you want to vote yes? You can vote no.
I'll abstain.
Okay. All right, so with that, there's three in favor of the denial and 1 abstention. Thank you, gentlemen. I hope that you'll come back and give us another location that we can certainly make it grow for you. All right, I appreciate your efforts. Thanks so much.
Certainly would welcome a
Absolutely.
location to consider.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay. We're on to the next hearing. This is on the application of Renee D'Souza Silva, 128 Highland Street, for variance relief from provisions of section 2.5 of the zoning bylaw, as the provisions relate to a parcel of land located on the easterly side of Highland Street, which parcel is owned by the petitioner, Camilla D'Souza, and which is parcel is shown on Assessor Sheet 49 and Lot 388. The variance relief is sought in order to permit the division of the property into 2 lots, one lot being 15,073 square feet, more or less, and the existing single-family dwelling on a new lot consisting of 11,513 square feet, more or less, to be available for single-family construction. Variance relief is sought from the lot area, width, frontage, and lot shape factor provisions of the bylaw in order to permit the proposed construction on the use of both parcels. Applicant is here along with
Yes, Mark Wickstrom.
Mark. You look familiar. Okay. How are you?
Doing well, how are you?
Good. Okay, let's dive right into it.
Great.
All right, so, Mark, why don't you give us an idea? I'll go right through the application. You have it in front of you, I'm sure. So let's talk about the section of the bylaw that you're looking to vary on minimum lot width and what have you. You have the lot up there, I see?
Yes, I do, yes.
Is there another plan that's been submitted? I got one here, there's board members, you have one in your pile, just so everybody's got a copy?
I made 7 copies for, 5 or 7 copies.
You got one in there?
There should be one in everyone's, but I have some smaller ones.
You got a bigger one? Small one. Can I have a bigger one, please, if you don't mind? Is this identical?
Oh, I got a larger one.
Yep.
There's a couple of them. I have some extra small ones.
Okay, before we get into that, let me just read some of the stuff from the planning board. Is this yours, Mark?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Why don't we do this? We have a motion to suspend with the reading of the application as long as it's the same as it's in the file. Do you have a motion, Dave? Motion by Dave, have a second?
Second.
Second by Mark. All those in favor? Opposed? That's unanimous. On the application for the planning board, let me read that into the record. Planning board reviewed the petition listed above at the regular scheduled meeting held on 7/11. Planning board recommends unfavorable due to lack of hardship. Town plan letter indicates, I'll paraphrase, the applicant requests a variance to divide the existing conforming single-family lot into 2 lots. The existing 26,586 square foot lot is proposed to be divided into one conforming 15,073 square foot lot and one substandard 11,513 square foot of lot for development purposes. The proposed substandard lot will require variance for lot area, lot width, lot frontage. The existing house will remain on the proposed conforming lot, and the property is substantially flat, regularly shaped lot. There are no conditions on the property that constitute a hardship. Therefore, they recommend the board favor an unfavorable report to the zoning board as well. With that, Attorney Wickstrom, the floor is yours.
Okay, I was not privy to that before tonight.
You didn't?
The planning board's opinion.
You didn't get it? You didn't get it?
Not, no.
You have a copy of it over there? Can you give him one? Go ahead.
Okay, so,
That came in Tuesday, by the way. That was Tuesday night's hearing.
oh, all right.
Planning board's on a once-a-month hearing, I guess.
Right. So, the logistics of the plan are fairly simple to digest. This lot here on Highland Street, at 19 Highland Street, is if you're familiar with the neighborhood, this is a pre-existing neighborhood for the most part, where most of the lots are undersized, either by acreage or frontage, and this is sort of the last lonely lot that's really much bigger than all the others for no particular reason. As you can see, the proposed Lot 1 is going to comply with all the setbacks, acreage, frontage that are required under the bylaw, and it's Lot 2 that we'd be asking for the variances for frontage, acreage, and lot width. The impetus for this is that a couple of years ago, a similar variance was obtained right next door for another similarly sized lot, and that variance was again about 15,000 square feet for the lot, for one of the lots, and then
I remember that.
11,000 square feet, and just for education.
But they fit the house on the lot in the front, yeah.
Right,
Okay.
and just for education, and not for any binding purposes, I did attach that decision
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
petition.
it doesn't
Yep.
apply here, but go ahead.
Right, yeah. So the other factors to take into account are that, Mr. and Mrs. D'Souza, they live up the street at 186 Highland. They rent to their cousin currently in the existing home, and their plan is to build that 28 by 48 single-family house and move in themselves. They're raising 2 10-year-old twin boys, so they have their hands full.
Is the owner here for this lot?
Oh, yeah, yep.
So there's a second unit in this home. There is a second unit.
There's no second unit, it's a finished basement.
There's a second unit, though.
Second unit?
Yeah.
No, it's
There
just one.
isn't?
It's just a single
It's a
family.
single family.
Okay. We'll have to get in there then. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So the idea is to have a single family home one single family home on each lot. If you've been able to, I don't know if you've been able to take a drive-by view of the property yet, but if you do drive by, you'll note that there's a beautiful 6-foot fence to the rear line, which protects the rear property owners who are on the parallel street to the back there, which escapes my memory right now, what street that is. And also that fence goes along the left side of the property line as well. So the proposed structure, which will sit on the undersized lot, is protected on two sides, on the two sides with neighbors by a nice 6-foot fence.
I wouldn't call it nice. I drove by there, I wouldn't call it nice.
A 6-foot fence.
It's a 6-foot fence.
Right. And of course, the location of the house, it doesn't violate any of the setbacks for side or rear or frontage under the current bylaws. So it's really a dimensional variance for size, not for setbacks. And as for the the topography of the topography and lot shape, really if you wouldn't just take it in a vacuum with this lot, but in the neighborhood on the whole, if you look at the assessor's maps, you'd see that this lot is almost double the size of any of the other lots surrounding this property. And that's really the impetus for this division. The economic benefit would be substantial to the D'Souza's. Mr. D'Souza's a tile installer. They're living and raising their 2 boys here in Milford, and they would suffer a hardship financially if they weren't able to do this project.
All right, so just so we're clear, there's no hardship now. On the plan I'm seeing, and I want to ask and verify this, based on what I saw on the ground, the driveway is not in the right location based on the plan I'm seeing. Is that plan changed?
This looks the same.
Yeah, because, he's got, no, there's a whole section here of driveway that's not on this plan.
It's not on the plan.
So that's why I'm asking if this plan is accurate, because it doesn't look like it's accurate.
Maybe I'll have Mr. D'Souza take a quick look.
Can you tell me?
What I've done over there is I have like a loop driveway.
Oh, I've been by it, but you also have 2 spurs.
The 2 spurs I have over there, the guy drove this thing from
The engineer? Yeah.
the engineer. He just a surveyor. You might know him. He's local. He's Elliot. He might miss the.
I think his firm's been in front of the board before, yeah.
I just have extra space because sometimes people has a party or whatever they can use it and be on the street because the street is very busy, and I just make extra space for the left of the house. That's all.
Well, I mean, this was done in March, and it doesn't show both driveways on either
Yeah,
side.
this is his mistake, so can't fix it.
Because I know in my discussions when I try to research properties like this, I check with the building department, and he's been trying to get in because the past building inspector issued a permit over here, and I was told there's 2 units in there in the house. So,
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but all the permits I put in to do my finished basement,
Yep.
and I think I have a hard time with one guy you guys used to have here, and the guy's not here anymore.
at the
But-
building inspector or
Inspector.
somebody else? Okay.
Inspector, because he do something for me is not usual. I was in construction business for long, and of course, I don't understand the rules and the stuff, but I respect and follow the rules. And so they go there on my basement, and I say, I want to finish my basement because it's big basement, and I have a mold on the house before, so I just want to finish the basement so that people, they can use the basement, So he said, okay, let's do it, and his approval. And, when I get assigned to do the, finished basement, he go in one day and say, oh, I don't like this machine. This should be changed. My heat machine has nothing to do with the house up there. So I put a
Well, the
new.
building inspector is all code.
I know, but.
So if you weren't in code, then I can't
I
speak
believe
to
a
that.
single family have one unit, heat machine is enough. So
Yeah.
I put a new one, said, okay, I put a new one. And then he says, okay, I want a grass window here. I says, a finished basement, no request a grass window, but I'll do it. And I did it. And then he kept me drive around for a year and a half.
Do you have an occupancy permit for this? Did you get a complete write-off?
I believe so.
Is there a kitchen down there?
Yeah.
Kitchen now, they have a table and has a sink, but don't have any. If you go now, I can open for you guys. Has no stove, has a microwave on it, that's it. And they have a bathroom, existing bathroom. I don't touch the bathroom. If you see there, there's building like 18 something.
Yeah, you bought this from the bank.
Yeah, you know, I don't even touch the bathroom. I just put a floor in the bathroom, that's it. And everything else over there, my family sign off, everything's legal. I have nothing over there, just bring any, besides the guy that told me to do the egress window, what I think is not supposed to do, but I say, you know what, it's good, let's do it.
All right, well, again, it was brought to my attention, I wanted to bring it up in front of you because I wanted to get it on the record that there's not a second living unit here. There's only one family living there, so it was brought up because he's been trying to get in. He's left a message, no one seems to be allowing.
I called the lady last time I heard the phone call, I was busy.
Yeah.
I work day and night.
Yeah,
I have
okay.
two business.
Well, good for you, you work
I
hard.
do commercial cleaning at night, and
Yeah.
I do tile down the day.
Okay.
So the lady called me a few times, but I returned to her, I said, what do you need from me? She said, basically, I need to know how many people live in the house. I said, 5.
Yeah, that's the occupancy level permit from the Board of
It's
Health.
5, it's
need that.
three kids and 2 adults.
Okay.
And she said, okay, no, you're fine. But nobody showed, If they want to go there, I can open open the house for them, no problem.
Okay. But you understand, in with all due respect to Attorney Wickstrom, this is not as a matter of right. So I want to get that really clear. This is not a matter of you're entitled to this, because clearly it's not a hardship. If I saw a deed and plot plan going back prior to 60s when they changed the bylaws, some of these lots up here were all lots and buildable lots. And they had 4 or 5 little ones, and they were 40, 50 feet. And they combined 4 of them into lots. And that has happened on that street, and we have allowed separation because of that. And specifically, I believe the one you're referencing is one of those. Because you can see the difference between getting a lot separated when the house is tucked all the way over to the right, and then you have enough space to put the house up front and not in someone's backyard. And this poor person is going to be looking at someone's backyard. And I don't know if you're looking to just grab this, sell it, and permit it and build it?
No, I'm going to live in it.
And you're going to live in there?
I'm going to live in it. And I'm not going to do like a triple-decker house or whatever. I just want a ranch house. The reason I do this...
This board's going to certainly control, if they decide they want to allow this, of how many bedrooms are going to go.
Let me add something to this. The reason why I'm talking to my wife to do this is I have twins boys with autism, and I gotta prepare myself for the college for my kids. And I have a house on 128 Highland Street where I live now, and I buy my house on auction for $200,000.
Yeah, you bought this too, same thing.
Yeah, at the same time. So the other one, I have like almost 400,000 equity on the house. So this is the money I'm gonna use to save for my kids' college. This is my goal. And the houses, I'll try to build this for myself. It's not for rent or anything. The people I have on the front over there is my cousin. I don't plan to take him off. And this is my plan,
So what's going to happen when your cousin leaves?
What do you mean leave?
When he decides to buy his own home or do something else?
So when he decides to buy his own home, like,
Then you're going to rent this?
I can rent for a small family on the front, what is not illegal.
So you want to basically take your home, take the home that's there, down the road, you're renting it to your cousin, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to build, you're getting rid of your property up at 128?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to sell
So
it.
that way I can pay off this one and I don't have no mortgage, you know what I mean? This is my goal.
We all like that goal.
You know.
Then you want to build a house, basically in the backyard of the house that's already there.
A ranch.
It doesn't matter, a ranch or 2-story.
Mark, I think, and again, I want to bring this up because you have an opportunity
Sure.
to continue this, because we only have 4 votes.
Right,
And if one person says no,
right.
you're out.
I thought I would open the public hearing, but asked
Continue it.
to keep it open for the fifth member.
Anybody else want to be heard on this? Would you like to be heard, Ray? Anybody else, board members?
He wants to keep.
If we could move to continue to have the full 5-member board.
Yeah, it probably would be a beneficial idea for you, because one no vote and
Does the board have?
Every month.
Does the board have have they adopted the procedure where the absent member reviews the tape and then joins in the?
Well, that's the thing that we got to check with council, because we can add another board member to the hearing.
That's what, when we were in Uxbridge, we did, I think you just have to cite the chapter and verse of the statute, and the person has to certify that they reviewed the tape from the first meeting.
Right. We'll have to have that, we'll have to have Jerry do that as well. Because I want to be able to be fair.
Yeah.
They deserve to have a full board, because there may be questions that are going to come up specifically from members, and I want to be able to give them the entire opportunity to be able to have a full board on this. And now he actually is requesting a continuance. So why don't we
I'll make a motion to continue.
we'll make a motion to continue on the applicant's request, citing the chapter and verse to add that additional member. With that, there's a motion. Is there a second? Second with Mark. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Mark, I am going to need your signature. So what's our next hearing in August?
It should be August 10th.
The 10th? Let's see, we'll go to 8/10/23. Today is the 13th, right? 13, 23. Yeah, I think it's always a Thursday, yeah. So we're gonna run it to the 8/10. So there'll be no additional advertisement? I don't know if you want to take a picture of this.
But if anything changes, I can let them know.
And she gave you a copy of what you needed. I want to make sure you have a copy of what you needed before you leave.
I gave you the planning board and the town
All right. That way you've got a little bit more diving you can do if you need to.
Great, thank you.
Great, all right, thank you, Attorney Wexler. Thank you,
thank
sir,
you.
appreciate it. Here you go. Yeah, when I didn't see this driveway spur,
No, I understand you.
because it was,
It's my fault, too. I should check this
so
before.
I just wanted to make
I'm
sure.
telling this guy to.
Because if this is being portrayed as the plan,
Hmm?
you really need that in there, I think. All right, okay.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, thank you, Attorney Wexler, appreciate it. With that, we're on to the next hearing. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. Melissa, you just need to make sure that we check that. You got the plan that I gave you? I gotta put it back in here.
This last one.
One that I gave you, I gotta put back in here. Perfect. Just want to double check to make sure I got all the pages in. Okay. This is on the application of Ina Hoyle. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Ina.
Hoyle?
Ina Hoyle, yeah.
60 Highland Street. Special permit relief for sections 2.3 and 3.19 of zoning bylaw in relation with 15,800 square foot more or less parcel of land, which is located on the westerly side of Highland Street, known and numbered as 60 Highland. The special permit relief is sought in order to allow the petitioner to construct and utilize an addition as a supplemental suite in which her parents will reside. With that, why don't we come on up? Actually, I believe, from what I read here, this went right under the new bylaw.
Attorney Ray's representing.
Yes, and I didn't bring, I didn't realize I didn't get to bring set plans or anything.
So you're not-
I made up of multiple sets
Denied.
already,
Okay,
which everybody, I believe, has already seen or,
so land planning did this, that's the correct one, right?
that's correct.
All right. Okay, with that, this is, looks like they want to do an in-law. The proposed supplemental suite will be contained within a small addition plus other portion of the premises that is owned and occupied by herself and her husband. The mother and father will occupy the supplemental suite. The premises is and will be the primary residence for both yourself and the parents. According to section 3.1, the supplemental permit does meet all requirements, and it's referred to the proposed plans. You guys got the plans in there? By the way, if you need them, pass them down. Here's this one. Dave, you have one in there?
I'm looking at this
All right,
plan
okay.
here.
Also, the supplemental suite will not be altered in the appearance as a single-family dwelling. Again, it refers over to the plans, and will be shared all utilities in the primary dwelling. The submittal of the plans will comply with the square footage and the room restrictions as according to code, and the suite will be occupied only by the main family members of the mother and father. The occupants of the supplemental suite will be what are their names?
Lazaro.
Lazaro?
And Aurora Dewar.
And Aurora, okay. In addition to that, there will also be required an affidavit on the application for the occupancy certificate, and it has to be done annually thereafter. So we'll kind of go over that real briefly before you leave. So the house, of course, is served by public water and sewer, and the kitchen, they'll remove the kitchen facilities if the use as a supplemental suite is vacated, and they will obtain a building permit, of course, in the inspection for this work. So this has gone in front of the planning board. The planning board received this petition on 7/11, the regular scheduled meeting. The planning board has made a favorable recommendation. Town plan letter indicates that the special permit to allow for the establishment of a supplemental suite within the existing family dwelling. The supplemental suites are provided as a special permit under the standard ZBA section 3.1. The addition of the supplemental suite will be accomplished with an 18.5 by 19-foot addition and interior alterations to the existing house, and will consist of one bedroom, a bathroom, a combined kitchen, dining, and living room, as shown on the floor plan, and it was revised through 6/21/23. The floor area of the supplementary suite will be approximately 632 square feet, which is well under the 720 square foot limit of the new provisions of the bylaws, and the occupants will be the parents of the owner. Therefore, they recommended a favorable report be sent off to this board. So with that, you will find that the plan is here. Let's have it the question and answer period, so board members have a quick idea of what's going on. Address is 60 Highland. You have any questions, Bob?
No, I just want
Have you seen the floor
to
plan?
comment on how Ina wrote a letter to us, answering commenting on every bylaw number, whatever you want to call it, section, whatever, yeah. Very, very good.
That's all it is, 19 by...
Paragraph.
Yeah, section, you answered each one. I'm fine.
And the one that says 60 days after the authorized family members are gone, the kitchen's got to go.
Yep.
We're actually working on having the building
Just with the
inspector
docked out lines right
get
there.
a little more up on the ones we achieved in the past. As real estate agents, sometimes selling them is not too bad.
Yeah.
Ray would know that.
No,
Sort of.
the parents currently live in Milford.
They live in Milford, but they're just 87, and my mother
Yeah.
can't move there, so is my father.
Ray,
Yeah, and I can't.
They live on Princeton.
Princeton Drive.
So
They
that
live
will
on
be
Princeton, so they
leaving
just
there and
move
moving
in,
up.
so I can keep an eye on the medication and cook for them.
oh, yeah.
So you got to get this thing in the ground.
Yes.
Okay.
Will you cook for us?
Sure, why not? Cook for an army, I am Portuguese.
So the only thing you really have to be concerned about, you fell right within the guidelines. There's no one here, of course, to oppose it. You really did a great job getting this thing right down to where it needed to be. Clearly, the architect did a great job, too, identifying it. So the only caveat to all of this, of course, is going to be the, I think you may have to go back and do an as-built plan afterwards for the bank, if there's a bank involved. That's the only thing. Once you get your
If there's a bank
occupancy.
involved, if she doesn't
then
refinance or whatever.
Yeah, they're going to,
That's the case. If it is, then you'll have to
You can do it
revise
at that point.
revise it for the assessors.
but she's all within the footprint of what she needs to do anyways.
Yep.
So the bylaws indicates this. Every year, all you need to do is send off a certified, notarized copy indicating that they're still living with you. Other than that, if you don't do that, then you lose that opportunity. So put it on your calendar on a yearly thing to do, and
That would be from her as the homeowner.
that's all.
Yeah, every year. Just-
Once a year. What was happening was, before we did it for 3 years, and then people never came back, and all of a sudden they turned into rents, and then we have to go in there, we have to demo everything out. So no one wants to do that. Frankly, you can leave everything in there, you can't have a cooking stove.
No, I'm not.
You know what I mean?
You know.
Afterwards, it can be a living room, whatever you want to do.
Finished basement.
Office, yeah,
Yeah.
finished basement.
Probably be for my husband.
Yeah. Well, if you got children, they'll go upstairs,
I
you
don't
got...
have any. I have 2 dogs.
Adopt some.
Down there. You know,
All right, so we have
Can
a
I make a
motion?
motion to approve?
Motion as submitted by Bob. Second?
Second by Dave.
Second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. The only thing, the hot spot here is waiting 20 days.
Thank you.
No one's going to appeal this, I don't see that, but you're good to go.
Thank you.
Congratulations, good luck.
Thank
you, Ray.
Seeing you, Ray.
Thank you. Good luck, okay? God bless your mother and father.
Thank you. I know you.
Okay, with that, I'll have a motion for adjournment. Have a
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Good night, everyone.
Good night.